Hey, it's Lav, or Lord Lav if I'm feeling pretentious. I'm going to be working on a new song. It's got a kind of horrorcore theme to it. And it's kind of a piece of, I got this plan to make this piece of sort of political satire, kind of about our Prime Minister, which is in the UK. So the UK Prime Minister at the moment, because frankly I think she's a bit of a ball bag. And I thought, let's entertain myself by making a bit of political satire as I'm doing that, but mixing in with a bit of a horrorcore theme as well, which I've done before. I've done horrorcore before. I did a whole album about being in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, so I've got this kind of warped idea I want to play with, but let's just get straight into it. You see me have a go at the drums, and so I'm gonna use a sample now. And I found a sample. You always got to be careful with things like sample clearance, but I actually found this website where they're actually got music on there that's been made, but they, if you pay a license for it, they'll let you use the song as much as you like. In whichever way you want to use it, so you can chop it, do whatever you like, and it's still going to be legal in that, which is great. It means you don't have to worry about someone biting your ass for sample clearance later down the line. And I'll put a link in the description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube, just to show you the website I'm talking about. But this is the sample I found. This is it here. Epic shit. Basically, there's all sorts of stuff I could chop with that. It's a 9-minute long orchestral instrumental, so yeah, I just got to have a look to see where the chops are going to be and what I can do with it. But there's going to be plenty there, so check that out in a sec. So you can hear the drums I've been working on here if you have a listen now. Needs to do a little bit of tidying up and whatnot, but you get the sort of vibe with it. They're not perfectly mixed. I've got this sample now, so you heard the sample I was going to use. It's a big old 9-minute track, but I've just played around with it really. This is using Serato sample, which is a very cool sampler. I've enjoyed playing about with. I'm quite new to it, so still having a go, but you can really set your chops up where you like. You just play it off. You can hear that. So yeah, that's fun to play with, and you can see there's a couple of little chops I've got here already, so you can set where they are. So I could just play that with the drums like so, just kind of just playing that. Hang on, let's. So I can just play about with this here, just with the drums playing. Move this up here. So there's always that I can do. I think if I scrub through this, I remember there was a section actually a bit further in which I found pretty interesting, so I think it was around about 2 minutes something in. So I've done some more chops here and I can play about with them. I've got the exact chops. Some I've actually, what's so cool about Serato sample is you can actually like play samples in reverse. So I've got a section here where it's just kind of And yeah, it's very cool to do. So I've actually got a small section where it just goes forwards and backwards like this. It's got a nice rhythm to it. And this bit sounds cool as well. So I've even done this little bit in reverse too. It's just now I like that. I think that sounds pretty cool, but I decided what's better is to actually drop it down just a semitone, just so it's from an F minor to an E minor. It's got a kind of darker tone to it, which I like. So let's go and record that. Here we go. So you get a vibe there. That's just messing around with that and MIDI. I've done a couple of changes. I've converted the samples now into a wave, well, just into audio rather than MIDI, just because I found it a bit easier to play with and making sure the chops are a bit finer. So you can hear that here. I've also, if you have a look, you can see I've added some well, just some general plugins there, just to make it a bit tighter and a bit more vibrant. So that's there going there. Drums are still going. A couple of bits changed on that. And I need to add a bass line now. So the bass line I have added is this real dirty, filthy bass line that gives it this kind of 80s horror type vibe, which I was going for. Because again, I'm kind of trying to go for like a horrorcore vibe. So you can hear that here. It sounds like this. He says whilst it's playing. I mean, let's try that. So that's going there. I know from when I was playing about with this on the Serato sampler, I knew that this track, well, this sample was in E minor because I dropped it down a semitone just to make it have a darker sound. So I know whatever scale I play in, I'm just playing off a MIDI controller, my Akai MPD. So I'm not actually using a keyboard or anything, but I've had to play about just to figure out which buttons which key. But I'm just going to play roughly in kind of a E minor, so I know that should fit in quite well, at least with the small chops that I've used for this sample. So I'm going to go and record that now. So here we go. Starting from here. Oh, I've got this far. You can hear what I've done. The thing is I've noticed that this bass line here is a little bit too. It's a bit too it's a bit too soft. You can hear it, so it's. So I've gone and found another bass line. This is just looking off the old stock plugins, and this actually is just going to give it just a bit more punch. It's just another bass line, and it sounds like this. So I don't even actually need to play that again, to be honest with you. I'm actually just going to just copy that down, and it just needs to be exactly the same notes, exactly the same MIDI. If I play that, it should sound like this. See, it just adds that little bit more punch to it, which is just what I need for what I'm doing. So I've pretty much got this beat pretty much together. A little bit rough around the edges. Got to add some vocals because I've got this crazy idea for what I'm going to do for the lyrics, which is going to be funny for me at least. But until then, I've at least got this beat together. I've pretty much left the way I've kept it. There's just been little bits where I take off some of the drums or take off some of the bass just to make the instrumental a bit more interesting, but it's going to be the lyrics that you're going to be paying attention to, so it's really just a rough beat. Other thing I have done is a bit of automation. If you look over here, you can see that there is auto filter, so I just want a filter sweep really just for the strings or the orchestral sample. You can see that here, so if I play this out you can hear what it sounds like. That's it, and in line with everything else it actually works pretty well. So let's hear the first bit of the beat just so you can get a taste for how this kind of finished beat is. Pan the hats and stuff across. So that's pretty much the beat done. There's one other thing I didn't mention is I did a slowdown on here just to give that kind of slowed down effect, which is going to make more sense along with the lyrics, but you can hear that here. But that makes quite a cool effect anyway. So yeah, that's kind of the beat. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. That track's going to be up pretty soon. I've already got the lyrics pretty much decided for it, and it's going to entertain me if no one else. I've basically painted it from the perspective of Prime Minister Theresa May basically being a bit of a sadomasochist with a kink for human suffering. It's going to entertain me if no one else. I've called it Article 50 Shades of May. If you want to be first to get that track, then follow me on Patreon. I've got a link for my Patreon account down the bottom, which I've just started, and I'm going to be releasing my tracks in like high quality WAV files on there before I release them anywhere else. So if you want to check out what I'm doing, I'm also got other things I'm going to be releasing, instrumental versions of my songs and stuff as well. So if you want to check that out, that's the place to go and do that. Otherwise, subscribe to me on YouTube, which is Lord Lav on YouTube, or Lavy is the username on there. Otherwise, just keep in the loop with what I'm doing. My name's Lord Lav. I make beats, I rap, and do all kinds of other crazy stuff. So yeah, check it out. Cheers.